All right, I'll call to order this zoning administrative hearing for March 22nd, 2025. It's just after 5 p.m. And if you would all stand with me to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That brings us to our oral communications. Do we have any for tonight?
No, we do not.
Okay, so we'll start on the regular agenda. And the first item is item 4A, the Cruzan subdivision, and that's case number multi-7095-2024, subdivision 7096-2024, and coastal development permit 7097-2024. Applicant is Dennis Cruzan, and location is 534 Ocean View Avenue. And why don't we start with a presentation from our associate planner, Takuma.
Good evening. As mentioned, the item before you is multi-007095-2024, the Cruzan subdivision. The project site is a 14,553 square foot lot located at 534 Ocean View Avenue in the Leucadia community. The project site is zoned R3. The project proposes a two-lot subdivision, the demolition of an existing single-family residence, and construction of a 4,520 square foot two-story single-family residence with attached two-car garage and a detached ADU. No development is proposed on the second lot. The proposed subdivision complies with the underlying R3 zoning development standards, and the proposed structures comply with all applicable standards of the R3 zone and those specific for ADUs. The applicant held a citizens participation program meeting on August 27, 2024. There were 6 attendees who came to the meeting. Concerns were raised about drainage on the westerly portion of the lot, pool equipment, and fencing along the northerly property line. The applicant team responded that a biofiltration basin will be built to retain storm water runoff. The pool equipment will be slightly shifted as requested, and that the project proposes new fencing along the northerly property line. No other concerns or comments were received. Notice of this public hearing was mailed on April 10th to all property owners and occupants within 500 feet of the project site and anyone who requested such notice in writing. Staff received a request from a neighbor to see the plans. No other comments were received. The project has been determined to be exempt from environmental review pursuant to CEQA guidelines sections 15301L1, 15303A, and 15315. Section 15301L1 exempts the demolition and removal of a single-family residence. Section 15303A exempts the construction of a single-family residence. And Section 15315 exempts the division of property in urbanized areas zoned for residential uses. The location, size, and design of the proposed project will be compatible with surrounding uses, and the project overall is consistent with the general plan and applicable zoning standards of the R3 zone. Staff is able to make the findings for approval of both the subdivision and coastal development permit. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the project. And this concludes staff's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. And then did the applicant wish to speak on the project? Or are you just here to answer any questions?
Sure. I'm here to answer any questions. We're excited for this project, and yeah, if you have any questions, please let us know.
Great. Thank you. Is there any other comments or speakers for this item?
No, there is not.
Okay. So I think that concludes this item. We'll follow up with a decision with any results from this hearing, and then that will ultimately come to the director for signature. So we can move on to item 4B, which is the Flow Integrative Minor Use Permit, and that's case number multi-6905, 2024, use permit 6906, 2024, and the coastal development permit 6907. Applicant is SR24 and SR25 Exchange LLC. Location is 681 Encinitas Boulevard. That's unit 316. And we'll have our assistant planner, Kaipo, if you could please give a project description.
Thank you. Good evening. The item before you is case number multi-006905-2024, the Flow Integrative Medical Clinic Minor Use Permit. The applicant is requesting a minor use permit and coastal development permit to establish a new medical clinic within an existing 840 square foot tenant suite located in the Westlake Professional Center. The project site is located at 681 Encinitas Boulevard, Unit 316, which is located within the Business Park Zone and is surrounded by various commercial and office uses within the existing center. A minor use permit is required to establish a medical clinic use within the Business Park Zone pursuant to Encinitas Municipal Code Section 30.09. The associated coastal development permit is required because the project site is located within the city's coastal zone overlay. The project does not propose an increase in square footage or modifications to the exterior of the existing tenant suite. The applicant held a citizens participation program meeting on March 10th, 2025 at the project site. No members of the public attended this meeting and no comments were received. Notice of this public hearing was mailed on April 10th, 2025, and no comments were received. The project is exempt from environmental review pursuant to sections 15301 of the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines, which exempts operation, repair, maintenance, permitting, leasing, licensing, or minor alteration of existing public or private structures involving negligible or no expansion of existing or former use. The location, size, and design of the proposed project will be compatible with the surrounding uses and adjacent structures. The project is consistent with the general plan, local coastal program, and applicable zoning standards of the Business Park Zone. With that, staff recommends approval of case number multi-006905-2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just to clarify, you didn't receive any public comments following the legal notice?
We did not.
Thank you. And is the applicant in attendance?
I don't believe so. I don't think they could make it.
And then no other speakers on that one?
No.
So we'll conclude item 4B, and then we'll move forward with item 4C. So the project name is the Pavlovsky Residence. It's case number CDP 7308, 2024. The applicant is Slam Properties LLC, and the location is 1445 Neptune Avenue. And we'll have a presentation again from Kaipo. Thank you.
Thank you. The item before you is case number CDP-007308-2024, the Pavlovsky Residence Project. The applicant is requesting a coastal development permit for the demolition of an existing 2,940 square foot duplex and 627 square foot accessory unit above a 627 square foot detached garage, and the construction of a two-story, 3,673 square foot single-family residence over a 681 square foot basement garage with a 907 square foot attached accessory dwelling unit and 428 square foot junior accessory dwelling unit. A coastal development permit is required because the project proposes to demolish more than 50% of the existing structure's exterior walls and is located within the city's coastal zone overlay. Additionally, the project is located within the California Coastal Commission's appeal jurisdiction of the coastal zone. The project site is located at 1445 and 1447 Neptune Avenue, which is in the residential 11 or R11 zone. The project site is surrounded by existing single-family and multifamily residences. The proposed work would meet all applicable development standards of the R11 zone. The applicant held a citizens participation program meeting on December 9th, 2024 at City Hall. No members of the public attended this meeting and no comments were received. Notice of this public hearing was mailed on April 10th, 2025. One comment was received in support of the project. The project is exempt from environmental review pursuant to sections 15301L2 and 15303A of the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines. Section 15301L2 exempts the demolition and removal of a duplex. Section 15303A exempts the construction of a single-family residence and accessory dwelling unit in a residential zone. The location, size, and design of the proposed project will be compatible with the surrounding uses and adjacent structures. The project is consistent with the general plan, local coastal program, and applicable zoning standards of the R11 zone. And with that, staff recommends approval of case number CDP-007308-2024.
Great, thank you. And then does the applicant wish to speak on this project, or are you just here to support the project?
We're here to support it. I filled out a slip, but I just want to, John Beery, BGI is the architectural firm for the project. I just wanted to make sure if there was any questions that I could answer them. I do have one question though. Is tonight the actual approval or the decision being made, or when is that?
So that follows, so KIPA with the project planner will need to update the decision with kind of the results from this meeting, and then it will go to director or myself for signature.
Okay.
So
How long is that process?
within the next couple of days,
Okay.
typically.
Thank you.
So if no other comments for this item, we'll conclude this item, and we can move on to item 4D. So item 4D is the Schofield remodel. This is multi-7311 2024, coastal development permit 7476 2024, and substantial conformance 7307 2024. Applicant is Randy Schofield, and address is 1751 Whitehall. And we have a presentation, if we could, from our assistant planner, Hoger. Thank you.
Good evening, zoning administrator. Before you is multi-003711-2024 for the property located at 1751 Whitehall. The subject property is located within residential 11th zone and in the coastal overlay zone within the Coastal Commission appeal jurisdiction. The project site is a single-family residence constructed as a part of the Sea Bluff Village Plan residential development under the jurisdiction of the San Diego County. The applicant is requesting a coastal development permit and a substantial conformance permit to construct a 185 square foot addition, including a 97 square feet of the first floor and 88 square feet on the second floor. The proposed project complies with the municipal code requirements and aligns within the policy of the Encinitas general plan. It is consistent with the city's adopted local coastal program. Additionally, the project is exempt from environmental review under section 15301. Section 15301 exempts additions to the existing structure, provided that the addition will not result in an increase of more than 50% of the floor area of the primary structure. With that in mind, staff recommends approval of multi-00371-2024, and this concludes the presentation.
Yeah, did we receive any comments during the CPP process?
None were received
And then after the legal notice, no comments either?
either.
Okay.
No.
And then is the applicant in attendance or wish to speak on this project? Okay, great, thank you. So if no other speakers, I think that concludes item 4D, and that's our last item for tonight. It's 5:15, and I'll officially adjourn this meeting. Thank you.